What up, you guys? Welcome back to Feral Publications YouTube channel. My name is Rich, and it's daily uploads until I open up my comic book retail shop. And one of the things that I focused on today was building a creative concept that I can use to create creative ad sets. And what ultimately an ad set is like a collection of thematic pieces of content. So when you think of like the Mayhem commercial from Allstate, that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? The creative concept is, what does mayhem look like, in these situations, and when can it occur, and how does that relate to the brand and basically what they're selling. And ultimately, I'm trying to create something like that for Feral Publication, which I created a few mock versions of it, and luckily I have a partner who was willing to take the time to look at it, and I took some notes in and definitely understood some of the key notes that she gave me, going back to the drawing board to rework it and really fine-tune what it is that these ads are supposed to do. And what I hope the ads do, though, is I want to tie the brand to strange, weird, right, outsider kind of characters, figures, moments, and in doing that, obviously, hopefully try to promote and connect with people that like the strange, people that feel strange, people that like the weird, that feel home with weird. Hence the tagline, Feral Publication, where weird calls home. So that's kind of the mentality of what I'm trying to accomplish through that. But also in a practical way, I'm trying to also drive sales up. I'm trying to get people to call to action, which would be to get the grab bag, the zine grab bag, so that way they can try the different stuff that we make. And this came about because last time we were talking about how I want to build up the online presence, in tangent with building up the brick and mortar. And the reason why I want to do that is because then I'm never dependent on just one aspect of it, right? If the brick and mortar goes slow, I go hard on online. If the online goes slow, I still have the brick and mortar. So that way I'm never cornered financially in any situation that I can't really build out of. So that's one of the things that's very key for me personally. Like, I won't feel safe and secure to get a brick and mortar location unless I have the online presence really there. So the idea then becomes, how do you build that online presence? And like I said, creating a very intelligent, creative kind of ad set is going to help me do that, because these creative assets, basically the way I want them to function, the way I plan it to roll out, is it'll be a daily upload on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, with the call to action to go ahead and cop some of the zines that we make. But on top of that, the idea always with these kind of ad sets, for me at least, is always that whatever can kind of hit organically, you want to double down on. So if there is an organic kind of growth or pop for this ad set, that means it's finding its audience organically. You throw $20 on that, you kind of amplify that sucker. So that's kind of where the idea is for me at least. And it helps that Feral Publication has been profitable, so there's some money in the reserves. And so definitely I think I'm going to go ahead and try that out. And not only that, but also doing this strategy, this plan that I've kind of been working on today, is this idea that I'll be able to also see which platform really has the audience that I'm looking for. Because I always talk about how if you have infinite time, do all of it. But the reality is most of us don't have infinite time. So I need to be selective on where I spend my time and energy. And so then knowing what kind of platform is really identifying with the message and the brand will allow me to invest that time and effort into that platform. And that's kind of what I'm thinking as well, that in doing that, not only will I be able to really try to spread the brand far and wide and hopefully drive the sales of the grab bag, but also in tangent, really begin to understand where my audiences is, and as well which platforms really are receiving me well, and that way I can also just double down on those platforms. So I'm hoping to have something dialed in sooner than later, maybe within this next week, and definitely plan to have a few of them created. And ultimately what I'm gonna do is just show one and talk about it in a later video, and then I'm gonna do 30 days of it, and then after those 30 days really assess what worked, what didn't work, and what platforms are working overall for Feral Publication. So for anybody that's interested in like just marketing and business, like I said, this is a creative moment for us. This is a moment to feel empowered, for us to build and really promote what we want to see in the world. And whether that's, a creative space, third space for people to fucking promote and just make subversive and counterculture and outsider art like I'm trying to build, or something else. I don't know, but if it's something that you think is worth building, I hope some of this information helps you build that thing. But alright guys, as always, there will be a link in the show notes that'll take you to feralpublication.com. Feralpublication.com is where Weird calls home, and what you'll find there is a bunch of cool merch and hella cool zines. Beyond that, like, share, and subscribe. See you guys tomorrow. Lates.